Hi, my name is Melisa Quarles, and I'm going to give my verbal presentation for my stance on online shopping. My stance is that companies should be held more ethically and environmentally responsible for the waste and pollution that they produce as a result of the increase of e commerce shopping. I decided to make this a video because I thought that it would be more impactful for me to show some of my examples that help support my claims in real time. So I hope you guys enjoy it. It will be a lot of me reading and reading off of my tablet, but I will try my best to keep my tone engaging as to not take away from the impact of my argument. So here it goes. The Hidden Cost of Convenience: Mandating Corporate Accountability in E-Commerce by Melisa Quarles. The hustle and bustle of brick and mortar shopping has been replaced with the fast-paced and instant gratification of online shopping. Although this practice used to be seen as a luxury, a source of quick satisfaction from a new delivery, it has evolved into a societal necessity. Since the 2020 pandemic, online consumption has grown exponentially, with its appeals seeing no signs of slowing down. This fast-growing digital commerce offers many advantages, particularly for those with mobility issues, residents of rural areas, or individuals managing demanding schedules. Yet, this convenience does not come without a severe ethical cost. The current model of e-commerce creates profound negative environmental impacts, both seen and unseen. Increased CO2 emissions from transport of goods and overwhelming accumulation of non-biodegradable packaging filling up landfills. In no way can we continue to gamble the planet's future merely for the ease of shopping from home. While online shopping offers essential accessibility and convenience to consumers globally, logistically, the benefits are only ethically sustainable if corporations are mandated to implement and fund more strict environmental protocols that directly offset the carbon emissions and excessive packaging waste that is generated. The value of shopping from home transcends mere consumer indulgences. It is fundamentally a matter of equal access in modern society. For a significant portion of the population, e-commerce provides freedom that physical stores cannot replicate. It helps relieve some of the burden people with disabilities face. Individuals who find the chore of shopping in brick and mortar stores, which involves busy parking lots, carrying heavy bags, and navigating narrow aisles, difficult and sometimes even impossible. Furthermore, those living in remote areas are connected to a world of products. Things such as specialized medications or educational materials that local retailers simply cannot stock due to low demand. For those who have demanding schedules, the time saved commuting and browsing physical stores allows them to allocate hours back to essential tasks like family care, personal development, and professional well-being. Excuse me, I read that wrong. For those who have demanding schedules, the time saved from commuting and browsing physical stores allows them to allocate hours back to essential tasks like family care, professional development, or personal well-being. Therefore, because online shopping is such a vital lifeline for marginalized and busy consumers alike, the service itself cannot be done away with. Instead, the focus must shift to preserving the benefits by ensuring the practice is environmentally viable. The pursuit of instant delivery in the The pursuit of instant delivery is the engine driving harmful CO2 emissions in today's climate. It is literally the force that directly contributes to the issue of overconsumption. Last mile delivery accounts for 40% of e commerce emissions overall. Climate trace. This segment is the most carbon intensive, being that it is completely controlled by the corporation's logistics, meaning the types of vehicles they use, options for delivery speed, and materials used for packaging are all the leading factors in how the associated waste impacts the environment. Because of the company's business ethics, because of this, the company's business ethics directly contribute to the issue. This means that they have an added responsibility not only to be fast and effective for their customers, but also to ensure their carbon footprint is regulated and reduced as much as possible. With online shopping being the norm in modern society, we know the demand is not slowing down. The demand for e-commerce based transactions is projected to increase by 78% by 2030. With this rapid growth, we could see a significant increase in the harmful emissions of about 32%. World Economic Forum. Data suggests this increase is a direct correlation to companies meeting consumer pressure for fast same-day delivery. This leads to half full trucks, meaning more vehicles on the road and more gas being used. MIT study via David Suzuki Foundation. Of course, this is inefficient and only adds to the environmental strain. This is the core of the issue at hand. Establishing the need for corporate mandate, not a consumer choice to solve it. In addition to air pollution caused by the upward trend of e-commerce use, there is also a significant physical impact created by the packaging used in transit, making packaging waste the most visible cost to e-commerce trade. Between boxes, bubble wrap, and air pillows, e-commerce transactions generate over 4 times more waste than traditional stores. Now, this is why I made this a video. For this point exactly. I shop online quite often, mostly because I am not as mobile as I would like to be due to some physical limitations and also not having a car. So I do depend on being able to shop online. This does mean that I have quite a lot of cardboard in my home. A lot of cardboard in my home. Quite a lot. So much so that for Halloween, I decided to use some of this cardboard to create an art project. I created this cardboard guitar was made from maybe 6 or 7 cardboard boxes. Now, even though the project was fun, and even though I did enjoy my Halloween, when an issue like this causes a consumer to become an artist in order to successfully recycle or get rid of the waste, that lies the problem. We should not have to be so crafty in the ways that we deal with our waste in order for the waste to be properly taken care of. So I do hope that physical representation of the physical impact does something for you guys, that it helps paint the bigger picture of what we face as far as the environmental impact of online shopping. But let's continue. Let's read that line one more time. Between boxes, bubble wrap, and air pillows, e-commerce transactions generate over 4 times more waste than traditional stores. UN Digital Economy Report. Part of this reason is because of the additional materials needed to protect goods as they travel to the buyer. These end products of shipping are difficult to deal with. Cardboard, as we just saw, and plastic, in and of themselves, are not hard to recycle or dispose of. When dry and clean, it is rather easy in small quantities. But when you consider the tons of trash that get tossed every year by big box retails and online vendors, like Walmart and Amazon, the task of effectively and environmentally discarding it becomes a tall one. Just one major retailer, Amazon, created an estimated 208 million pounds of plastic waste in 2022. Oceana report. Waste generated in large scale like this isn't easy to recycle, almost guaranteeing that it will end up in a landfill, ECAG and Oceana. Given these facts, the issue is pretty much entirely a supply side issue. Even though there is much that can be said in the way of consumer awareness, it is the duty of the companies that service them to change materials and revise their policies. Naturally, there is some debate that the responsibility should fall primarily on consumers to lessen this growing burden. Proposing solutions like ordering less, choosing slower shipping methods, or paying higher fees. These proponents of consumer responsibility are, to some extent, valid. As frequent consumers, it is our responsibility to leverage our power to impact the equation of the e-commerce transaction. None of the above listed solutions are inherently bad ideas. Practicing any one of them can aid in mitigating environmental destruction caused by online shopping. However, these small tweaks in habit alone are not enough to make change on a necessary large scale. As established, the amount of waste attributed to online shopping is massive. Accounting for 4 times more packaging waste than traditional retail, with millions of pounds produced annually and no signs of letting up. The small-scale changes made by the average person would not be sufficient enough to get ahead of the growing curve of this exponentially growing crisis. Ultimately, the waste would still be produced and the CO2 emissions at the time of delivery would still be unavoidable. This is why the corporations themselves need to be held accountable. They single-handedly create the materials and procedures to carry out the manufacturing and transportation of goods and services. Only mandatory funded corporate programs like biodegradable packaging, delivery truck fleet electrification, and carbon offsets can match the size of the core issue. To conclude, online shopping is essential to society, but the waste produced must be reduced by corporate mandate. While this may be a hard pill to swallow, it is the truth. Our world and how we operate in it is changing. The need for digital commerce is undeniable. Therefore, we must focus on efforts to hold large corporations accountable for their ethical, sustainability, and delivery procedures. Changes in these areas are crucial to maintaining the balance between consumer convenience and environmental cost. The dual threat we are currently facing are the unseen CO2 emissions from the gas used by excessive last mile delivery fleets and the visible waste, which we have seen firsthand, that is accumulating by the vast amounts of non-recyclable plastics and cardboard. If left unchecked, the pursuit of speed and profit without ethical restraint has a high potential to endanger the future that makes the convenience of e-commerce so valuable. Accountability for environmental protection is not an option. It is the cost of doing business, and the cost must be paid. The companies that are a major driving influence in this issue have a duty to execute better practices in environmental ethics for the sake of the people who depend on e-commerce and for the sake of our planet's future.